hear it too? Can smell it too? It smells like death battle time! Yes, I can smell through time. Yeah, don't question it. Like, I'm pretty sure Tanjiro has smelled like worst thing in the anime. Hello, you beautiful nerds of the world of Torok! At your service, and welcome to another reaction of Death Battle. I'm mixing my words, but what do you want? This time we have Tanjiro Kamado, the Demon Slayer, versus Jonathan Joestar, the first JoJo! Tanjiro was one of the first characters to be teased in this season of Death Battle, and I've seen a lot of matchup ideas like bouncing around to like when it comes to opponents for Tanjiro, and I gotta be honest, Jonathan was not my favorite matchup, but I would have preferred to see some less represented franchises. Like I've seen ideas with Inuyasha, or I've seen ideas with Yakimaru from Dororo, or whatever. But at the same time, I don't specifically care about these franchises to really give much of a fuck. So, for those who wanted this matchup, good on them. So, how do I know these characters? Well, I wasn't really into Demon Slayer before the announcement of this episode. I've watched, for the purpose of this reaction and to know what Tanjiro's about, I've watched like season 1 of the anime. And, not gonna lie, I think I will continue to not be into Demon Slayer at all, because like, it kind of reminded me why I'm not much of an anime guy. A lot of its action scenes are so fucking slow. Almost every move there's a monologue, and I just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. I wanted to, and there's a lot of good characters I like Nezuko or Inosuke, but aside from that, I had a kind of a hard time really getting into the appeal of Demon Slayer. But I can see why a lot of people like it. It has a lot of charm. It has a lot of it's very pretty. It's very pretty. I'll give it that. It's got cool characters and stuff, but I don't know. It's just not my appeal. It's just not my appeal at all. As for Jonathan, well, if you've watched my Dio versus Alucard reaction, you know that I'm not into JoJo, but I know a little bit, mostly through memes and through YouTubers that I wanted to say I used to watch, but I still watch them, but that are really into this franchise. But I'm gonna be honest, my favorite memes are mostly about part 3, I think, or part 4. What's the one with Jotaro? But when Dio was like a character that was the villain through multiple parts of JoJo, Jonathan was only the main hero in the first parts, if that's what I understood, because he kind of died at the end, if that's what I've got, if that's what I understood. So I'm kind of curious to see how they're gonna analyze this in this episode. Are they gonna take into account things that happened after, or are they gonna look strictly into you know what? I think I'm gonna move on to who I think would win, where I can talk about this in a little bit more of detail. Overall, who I think would win? It's again one of those I'm not so sure. I wanted to go for the general consensus, But apparently the general consensus is that there is no general consensus. Like, both sides are pretty sure the other stomps the other. There is no, like, in between when it's kind of close, but one has it a little bit more, but the other has kind of more technique. No. Everyone is sure. Both sides are very sure that one is gonna stomp the other for some reason. And, I'm not sure where to stand. I kind of want to see Tanjiro win because I've watched Demon Slayer, so I have more familiarity and more empathy towards him than JoJo, where it's mostly a meme to me, so I know nothing about him, but ever since Dio, I'm like, JoJo characters are insane. Like, plus, doesn't Dio has Jonathan's body? Which means, maybe can we apply Dio's durability, the fact that he can take punches from Star Platinum, while having Jonathan's body? That's a bit of a stretch, though, because, like, Dio's kind of he kind of has the powers of a vampire and the regeneration stuff, so maybe that comes into play. That's more Dio's feats. That's more Dio's resilience than Jonathan's. But I'm really curious to see how they're gonna analyze Jonathan regarding, like, part 1 and the other parts that came into the future, because, like, there's just a lot to talk about when talking about JoJo. I say that, but actually I'm kind of curious to see how both stand out, because I still technically don't know about Tanjiro's ability too, because I've only watched, like, season 1. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he picks up a lot more abilities than the ones I've seen. And I'm curious to see. I'm just curious. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. That is my. That is the word of order. This is the one word of instruction. Curious. So aside from that, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. So I'm just gonna shut up. I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. Put these on. And we're just gonna watch the show. I'm just gonna enjoy everything I see. So let's go. Before we kick off this episode, make sure to give this video a like. Not only this reaction, but the original video, the original death battle as well. Don't be a dick. It's cool to support the original creators and stuff. So. 3, 2, 1, click. Wow, 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 wow. Ba-ba-da-da. Yeah! I spilled all over my desk.
Joestar, the very first JoJo who ever Jojed. These two anime monster hunters are as deadly with a blade as they are infinitely good-natured. But don't cross them, else they might leave you breathless. He's hey. Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Let's go!
Daisho Japan, an era of unparalleled progress and imperial domination. But this empire had a sickness, a rot at its core. Demons. This race of superhuman cannibals originated from one being, their all-powerful progenitor, Muzan Kibutsuji, who spent his evenings slaughtering families and eating them.
He kind of works like Dio.
One of them
like he turns people into demon with his fingers. You know, kind of like how Dio bites people and sucks their blood. Kind of like a vampire, and they all need blood to survive. Kind of like vampires.
and he devoted his life to curing Nezuko's
I
curse
didn't-
and ending Muzan's evil
Certified.
once and for all.
So he joined the Demon
I didn't have the
Slayer
time to
Corps, a
read
secret
the
group
bio.
of badass demon hunters with badass swords, forged from a unique sunlight-absorbing ore. The Nichiren blade is one of the only weapons that can decapitate a demon and end their unholy existence for good, especially when combined with the Slayer's fancy pants katana magic.
It isn't katana magic. Okay, well, it's totally katana magic, but that's not what
It
it's
totally is.
Yeah, it's breathing. Which
I've seen a
some
couple
weird
people
people
being like,
can do that.
the first thing I've heard from people is like,
Use of
actually,
breathing is crucial to real-life martial arts. Deeper breaths massage the organs below the diaphragm, relaxing your body and lowering its energy
Excuse me.
requirements, while simultaneously giving you more energy to use.
Tanjiro mastered this breathing shit so well, he could do it in his sleep. Literally 24/7.
This is total concentration breathing, a technique developed by the Demon Slayers in order to massively increase their physical abilities to match their blatantly superhuman
Healing
foes.
breath?
Through
Okay.
the measured intake of oxygen, users can boost their concentration, reactions, and even manipulate the flow of their blood.
See-through
This can
world?
help in slowing down poisons or speeding up the coagulation of wounds.
Which means he can use it to quickly recover in case of injury or fatigue. And Demon Slayers can combine their breathing with their blades for, well,
I
katana
fucking
magic.
hate
Breathing
Zenitsu.
style is a separate form of sword
Fuck
combat.
you.
The first form Tanjiro mastered was water breathing, a flexible defensive style where a user's blade summons water to slice like a raging current.
Okay, so sorry, I need to pause. The common misconception is that the elemental effects from breathing are just artistic flair. That's what I was talking about. But there have been numerous situations where the elements interacted uniquely in battle or were used as projectiles. That's what I wanted to talk about because the first thing I've heard when Tanjiro was announced is like, I was worried about his elemental attacks and stuff, and people were like, actually, that's just visual effects. And I'm like, yeah, sure. When Zenitsu's lightning breathing is literally, like, can literally be heard by fucking Tanjiro, or when Tanjiro's water breathing move can be, like, he uses it to redirect
Tanjiro's literal
some
bonehead
kind of
stubbornness made him
demon's,
a prodigy demon slayer in no time.
He proved
his attacks and stuff, his friction manipulating
exploit them in the heat of the
attacks or
moment.
some shit. I don't remember.
Demon slaying was in his
Or I don't know how to describe it.
Because
Sorry.
it was. Hundreds of years ago, the creator of the very first breathing style taught this knowledge to Tanjiro's ancestors, who passed it down to Tanjiro himself.
This
Oh.
was the dance of the fire god, the Hinokami Kagura, sun breathing.
With sun
Nice.
breathing, Tanjiro's sword bursts into godlike flames that slow a demon's healing factor and can turn into a wicked fire dragon.
Sun breathing
Nice.
increases Tanjiro's speed and power, but at a cost. It
Ah.
will quickly tire him out, and overuse could severely debilitate him.
Which can also turn on this really distracting birthmark on his forehead.
Through intense stress,
Yeah, what is up with
Tanjiro
this-
can activate
this weird fucking
mark, which
tattoo?
boosts his already crazy strength and speed even further.
And gives him access to the see-through world. Basically, it slows down time for Tanjiro and gives him X-ray vision.
This allows
Oh,
him such
nice.
a precise understanding of his opponent's muscle movements that he can predict their future actions. Sort of like a spider sense. He can even do the same with just his sense of smell. No Demon Slayer mark needed.
Oh.
Not only can his nose detect people from hundreds of yards away, it lets him find an opponent's opening in battle even easier than before.
You'd think being an anime swordsman would make Tanjiro even edgier than his blade, but he's basically the group mom, with an innocent little cherub sweetness matched only by his raw badassery.
Tanjiro is tough enough to survive being stabbed in the stomach, fast enough to dodge lightning, and strong
Makes
enough
sense.
to slice through and derail a literal demon train.
That
I've
demon
seen
turned
this-
himself into
this
a
feat.
train whiz. Funniest shit I've ever seen. And this demon Doma was able to breathe the air into this giant
He's
ice
Train
cube in
Rick.
only a few seconds. That takes a lot of energy.
And Tanjiro's managed to keep up with similarly powerful demons like Hantengu, Akaza, and eventually the strongest of them all, Muzan himself.
With the help of his friends, of course.
It would take all their efforts and countless sacrifices, but Tanjiro and the Demon Slayers would continue to fight to realize their dream of a world that is safe for humanity. And whatever Inosuke is.
Yeah. Inosuke's the best. That's what he is.
Shit-tastic time to be alive.
Whether you were a lowly street rat or a wealthy noble. Okay, well, that last one probably wasn't so bad.
That is, unless your dad, in all his infinite wisdom, decided to adopt the single greatest asshole in human history and make him your brother. That'd make you one unlucky schmuck.
That would make you
Jonathan Joestar.
Hadn't you heard, Wiz? Everybody just calls him JoJo.
In an
JoJo.
effort to take the Joestar fortune
Likes
for himself,
Danny,
Jonathan's
Arena,
new brother
Dio, but it's
dedicated
complicated.
his life to breaking Jonathan emotionally, turning him into a docile puppet. But after being bullied, beaten, and thoroughly traumatized, something awakened.
Damn, he's 20 years old.
The raging
He looks
fire
older than me than I look at 25. This is
Dio
bullshit.
gentle, but it sure was
This is
satisfying.
bullshit.
Too bad it didn't last forever, because only a few years later, Dio got his revenge when he turned into a vampire and killed Papa Joestar.
Oh.
Classic Dio.
With Dio now bent on world
Oh, Jesus
domination,
Christ.
Jonathan would need more than his righteous fist to save the day.
What was that
A
sound?
creepy floating Italian man that punches frogs with the power of the sun.
Why would you punch a frog?
Any creepy floating Italian man, it was
Don't
Will
punch a
Antonio
frog.
Zeppeli, a practitioner of Haman, an ancient martial art designed specifically to do battle against vampires like Dio. Through their breaths, Haman users can blast a hot electric ripple out of their bodies and flood it into their opponents. Huh.
That's what Haman means in English. The ripple. Man, if I had a nickel for every anime protagonist who killed monsters with the power of breathing, well, that'd be 2 nickels. But let's agree, it's weird that it happened twice.
I mean, that's kind of why you're making this matchup, right?
And allows them to
Can generate
disintegrate
Haman
vampires with a single
through surfaces
punch.
such as
In order
metal.
to fight Dio, Zeppeli taught Jonathan everything he knew.
Like the zoom punch, where Jonathan stretches his arm and punches an opponent from far away like he jumped on a gum-gum fruit.
Ew.
He does this by using the ripple to dull the pain of dislocating his shoulder before snapping it back. That might sound crazy, but
How
there are
does that
real-life
work?
examples of breathing basically giving people superpowers.
Like the Dutch adventurer Wim Hof, who can survive being nearly totally submerged in ice water for almost 2 hours. Through forced exhalation, Hof drops his oxygen levels in order to supercharge his body's thermoregulation and release euphoric chemicals to numb the pain, just like the zoom punch.
Haman is basically just like the
Oh,
Eastern
damn.
Irish chi. Voila! Which is circulated through the body by, what else? Breathing. And just like chi, it can do lots of crazy shit.
Like walking on water, magnetizing plants, or controlling an enemy's muscles. It can even be transferred through solid surfaces like metal.
And he can catch his fists on fire and slam
can
you
control
senseless with his
other
big
people's
sunlight
muscles.
Yellow overdrive.
No.
Monster smiling and
Yes.
satisfied.
Jonathan took these skills as he,
Over-
Zeppeli, and the definitely not just there for exposition Speedwagon invaded Dio's domain and waged war against an army of bloodthirsty zombies.
Including Dio's right-hand monsters, Bruford and Tarkus. Tarkus was strong enough to rip entire boulders out of the ground
Oh,
and slice through a
shit.
cliff with one swing. He can even snap JoJo's neck and cut our old pal Zeppeli in half. Rest in peace, creepy floating Italian man. Sorry you had to be born the mentor. Hope none of your relatives die
Yeah, he-
from death too.
Before succumbing, Zeppeli's last act was to pass his ripple onto Jonathan, not only allowing him to heal his own broken neck, but also combine their energies together.
And making
Oh.
JoJo strong enough to cut through Tarkus's giant arm. Not with his nifty new sword Pluck, with his bare goddamn hand.
With
Damn.
his power boost, Jonathan faced Dio once and for all, and fisted him with his raging hot ripple. Wait,
Now, Fisted Dio.
That came off so wrong,
Dio
Wiz.
could later fight faster than light stands like
Ah.
Star Platinum. Hell, even other ripple users like Joseph can dodge beams of light too.
but
Ah?
more than his strength or speed or even Haman, Jonathan's greatest strength was always his intelligence and unstoppable determination.
They're
It was
taking
that burning
a-
drive for justice that defeated Dio all those years ago, and the same one that defeated him again. But this victory was bittersweet.
He may be built like a brick shithouse, but Jonathan's got the personality of a golden retriever. Even after everything Dio did to him, all the lies and abuse and dad murder, Jonathan still loved him like a brother, and still cried those hot, wet 80s man-made tears.
And even after Dio returned on Jonathan's wedding night to murder him and steal his body, Jonathan sacrificed himself so his wife and unborn child could escape. But he did not die in vain. His bloodline would continue throughout the
Yep.
ages, spawning a line of illustrious and bizarre heroes who would crush Dio's plans.
Oh, you could have said bizarre
And
adventurers.
they all had one thing in common. His name, JoJo.
Okay, prediction time, stop. Shush. Okay, Jonathan seems faster as he's been shown to dodge light beam, and I haven't seen anything close to that in Tanjiro's analysis. So yeah, he's gonna severely blitz. I don't know if splitting, like facing that guy with the giant rock on Jonathan's part, is it the same power output as a locomotive? I'd like to think so, because like Tanjiro only needed to sever like one connection of the locomotive, which is fucking insane, you know? But then again, one of Tanjiro's first strength feats is like splitting a similar rock in two. So like, that's not from the analysis, that's from season 1. But like, that's from season 1 when I watched it. But the fact that he's being compared to like a little bit of like past Dio, of a future Dio when he's when he takes on Star Platinum. I haven't. Plus like JoJo's Hamon ability, like allows him to like controls other people's muscle, which can be a pain in the ass for Tanjiro, because like that would affect his ability to breathe. You know, that would affect. Or maybe that could. Maybe his breathing techniques could counter that, because you know it basically purifies him most of the time, or at least no, it can only limits some effects, not straight up like counter like mind control or something taking over your body. I think I can see a lot more options for Tanjiro. No, a lot more options for JoJo to win on this part. Way faster, possibly similar strength and power. Did I say faster? Yeah, definitely faster. Definitely, maybe equal in strength, I can see. Or maybe a bit stronger. But that locomotive feat is kind of impressive. It's also quite impressive, but like, and plus like his Hamon, I don't remember his technique that could like control his muscle, that could like counter all of Tanjiro's ability. Plus it can go through metal, so there's no defending Tanjiro. That's a tricky one. That's kind of a tricky one. I might have to go with JoJo on this one. I would like Tanjiro to win, because apparently like Nezuko is in the fight, and I don't want Nezuko to lose her brother. That'd be very sad, but reality is JoJo seems to JoJo seems to take this. It's probably closer than I think, and I'm probably gonna be wrong. But I'm gonna say Dio. Let's go. Let's go with Dio. 3, 2, 1. Making sure everything is recording still. Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
All right,
Combatants are set.
Run the data through
For all possibilities, it's time for a death battle! Let's go! You can see Nezuko.
Step aside! I've sworn to slay all of Dio's demonic minions.
Run!
I know who you are, but you better leave her alone. You poor wretch, shackled by the chains of this harpy's insidious mind control. On my honor, as a gentleman, I will.
I like how JoJo
I'm
speaks.
sorry, sir. Did you bump your head?
Say! Fights! Ha!
Concentration.
Say!
Most unorthodox.
Now, who?
Fight with valor.
Who? Ha! Huda! 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 Huda!
Oh, he's kind of adorable. Like a puppy. I wonder if he has a caretaker.
And that's where the sneak peek ends! Fight! Who? I don't know what's going on! Who? Oh, he's controlling his body. Ooh! Ah! Oh shit! He's got a tree! Ooh! Sun breathing! Oh no! Who?
Incredible. You could teach me a thing or two.
Oh! Same for you! Sights! Ooh! Overdrive! Ah! Oh no.
His breathing is carrying some kind of energy.
Oh no.
Me. And that means I know how to stop him.
Oh shit! He understands everything! Ooh! Hoo, ha, hoo, ha! That's super cool looking! Ooh! Ooh! Oh shit! Overdrive! Oh, he hasn't pulled off his super form yet! Oh shit! Who?
I got you!
Oh, he's got him! Oh shit! Ah! Who? Oh shit! Oh!
He's going for my lungs.
Not the lunge! Oh no! It's been split though!
Did he dodge?
He dodged it! Ooh! Who? Oh no, 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 no!
She's my sister.
On my honor, as a gentleman, I will protect her with my life.
It's not over. It's over. That was beautiful. Oh no. Uh-oh. Yes! Well, at least, no.
Cried really hard, holy shit. Oh,
That was really...
On paper,
That was
Tanjiro
touching.
definitely seemed to have more advantages in this bout.
for sure. He'd been training for way longer than Jonathan, and with way more experienced teachers. Tanjiro's Demon Slayer journey took place over a couple of years, while Jonathan's Ripple training was less than a month.
Tanjiro was
True.
obviously a superior swordsman with a variety of powerful techniques and katana magic, while Jonathan really only improvised as a swordsman.
But that's where the advantages stop. Sure, Jonathan wasn't a natural swordsman, but he more than made up for it in hand-to-hand combat, while Tanjiro
Yeah.
was pretty much out of options without a blade.
Jonathan also had an edge in strength. Comparing Tanjiro to Doma and JoJo to Tarkus, Jonathan was about twice as strong. And while Tanjiro later fought the more powerful Muzan, Jonathan did the same with Dio.
He was way faster too. while Tanjiro and his pals could
Yeah,
dodge light.
I could have predicted
Compared
that
Jonathan
at
to
least.
other Ripple users like Joseph, who could dodge light, which is over 3,000 times
Yeah.
faster. It might seem crazy, but in Part 3, Dio was able to keep up with stands like Star Platinum, which can move faster than light.
I mean, he had a stand and could
That was
stop
water
time and
using
stuff.
Jonathan's body.
Even with multiple ways to
That's a
protect
stretch,
his
but-
and see the flow of his ripple with X-ray vision, Tanjiro would not have been fast enough to keep up.
Especially with the Ripple backing him up. Sure, the water and fire Tanjiro generates is impressive, but Jonathan was tough enough to power through it. Tanjiro, though, had no way to defend against the Ripple bypassing his durability and directly messing with his organs.
Yep.
Manipulating his muscles like a puppeteer, or directly shutting
Called
off
it.
his brain or heart. Something other Ripple users have done to ordinary humans with a single zap. And Jonathan had the opportunity to do this literally every time Tanjiro blocked his blade.
Sure, Tanjiro
Yep.
could recover himself with the breath, but that'd be a breath spent healing
Oh,
and not
ooh, that's a lot of
fighting.
stuff to
And while
read.
Sun Breathing's overuse was dangerous to Tanjiro, JoJo's Hamon had no such drawback.
Which meant that JoJo could keep fighting.
Potential
for as long
insta
as
kill
he needed
options,
to.
you know?
Tanjiro was never going to go down easy, but Jonathan's speed, Hamon, and righteous gentlemanly fists carried him to victory.
Jonathan took Tanjiro's breath away.
The
Hey.
winner is Jonathan Joestar.
Hey, gotta win! Sorry, I need to pause before we need to talk about the battle before we move on to the next fight. Oh, that was beautifully done. I love the effects on Tanjiro's breathing abilities and stuff. That was really well made. That was really well made. The different angles between the sprites, like this was enjoyable to look. It kept me on my toes. It was super fucking hype, and that ending, that kill, the emotion. I am sure a lot of Nezuko fan have been heartbroken right now. Poor Nezuko. Poor baby Nezuko. Oh my god. Oh. You know, it's good to have a fight between characters who respect each other, you know? Sorry, I'm taking a sip. It really took my breath away, really, it really did. I really like the personality of JoJo. I'm sorry. As a gentleman, I will finish you. And then he's like touched by Tanjiro being like, protect my sister. I shall do it as a gentleman. Or some shit like that. And you can leave there's some intricate ending with Nezuko being like, okay, I accept you, but no. What? Is she gonna accept him? Is she gonna accept JoJo? That's why I like Death Battle, man. It creates these possible scenarios you would have hardly consider sometimes. That was touching. That was very heartwarming. It was wholesome. I mean, Tanjiro still fucking died, and Nezuko still has to be protected by Tanjiro's murderer, but you know, it's a drama. It's a little bit of drama, please. I like the drama. Okay, please, next fights. Please be a fight that surprises me. Please don't be a character that we've seen being teased, because there's a bit more. There's a bit much of those. I want a genuine reaction out of me, not just oh, this one I've seen him before. Please give me that. 3, 2, 1, click.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, we can talk about the next
Well,
match.
I'd be happy if I see a teased guy, but you know.
Right now by clicking one of those buttons.
Next time
And by
on
downloading the
Death
version
Battle.
down below.
Oh. Of all the characters that were teased, you had to pick the one I was the least looking forward to. can't stay one episode without a comic book character, can we? Okay, Vegeta versus 4. Let's fucking go. It's one of those matchup it's kind of like Shao Kahn. It's kind of like Akuma versus Shao Kahn, where I really don't get the appeal of this matchup. I'm sorry. I'm not into both characters. I'm really not into Dragon Ball. I'm really not into well, I know Marvel, but I'm like not a hardcore fan of it. So like, I guess Vegeta would have had to come back somehow, and same with Thor, but then again, I don't see any other opponents for each other, so I kind of don't care. I don't like to say I don't care, because this is still pretty fucking hype for a lot of people. I know this was a huge matchup, like hugely requested matchup, but like I want to be affected. You know, I'm still waiting for an episode that affects me. You know, kind of what it did with last season when there was Shadow. I could have been right off the bat I could have been into it. So I'm sorry if this reaction comes as a letdown, but I kind of wanted to be hooked every time, and it kind of sucks that it's again with the teased characters, because like since last season they tend to throw in the teased characters. Like the teased characters are always the first ones. They're like stacked with like one surprise or two maybe. Why can't you do like season 7? We talked shit about season 7 for having a lot of Marvel and DC fights, but at least their teased character, there wasn't a lot of them, and they were spread through the entire series. Like, it's a bit frustrating, you know? Because like I was expecting this fight. I was expecting this fight for very long. I was expecting this fight since Vegeta was announced, so good for, if you wanted Vegeta versus 4, good for you, I guess, but I'm sure it's gonna take it takes the enjoyment, it takes a lot of enjoyment out of me and out of a lot of folks actually, because this critique doesn't specifically come from me. It's a complaint I've seen from other people, but it's not, whether you like it or not, it's still there. Oh well, let's just hope that they don't do they don't do the same as last season, and they just throw in like the rest of the season during the middle of the fight. I guess that's my only hope, that the characters that were teased like last year are the only ones that are actually teased. That's my only, I want to be surprised one day. I kind of want a good Saitama versus Popeye, where I could have never guessed it. Or a fucking Blake versus Mikasa, when I'm like, oh, I didn't predict this, because you can see how hype I am with those. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this reaction of mine. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you appreciate these little reactions, hit me up with a like. Tell me in the comments what you thought of this death battle, because that's always interesting to. It's always interesting to see your thoughts on. It's always interesting to see your thoughts in these videos. I really appreciate them, and I do read all of them, and if you want to follow this little adventure, why not share it to your friends, your families, your foes? Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You know, this is YouTube, I'm not gonna insult your intelligence. Aside from that, that was Torach at your service.